So never start by saying, do this, do that, or even like don't do this, don't do that. Instead, take a more suggestive tone, like welcome back to Mental Fitness with Neha, the workout for your mind. So this is part 4 of my series on how to win friends and influence people by Dale Carnegie. And this video essentially talks about how you can be a more effective leader and how you can actually get people to change without offending them or causing resentment. So if you haven't checked out part 1, 2 and 3, please do check them out. I will link them in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Principle number 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Here's a very obvious thing that people are more likely to accept the unpleasant things you want to say about their work after they've heard something nice about it first. So always begin with some good points and make sure that you're not being fake here. Obviously, like something good must be there, right? Start with that and then get into what can be improved. But basically, begin with honest praise and appreciation. Principle number 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. So a lot of people begin their criticism with sincere praise, and then what happens is that they use one 3-letter word, which is but. When you use the word but, it makes everything you said before seem insincere and like not genuine. So for example, imagine that you're a parent and you tell your kid, hey, so we're really proud of you for raising your grades this term, but with some more effort you can improve your math grades a lot. Now the moment you say the word but, everything you said before may seem insincere, may seem fake, just because you wanted to start with appreciation. So you replace your but with and. Let's see how the exact same sentence sounds with the word and. Is that, hey, we're really proud of you for raising your grades this term, and with a little effort your English grades can also become better. If you do this, people are much more likely to accept your praise because you're not interfering it with the word but, and then it doesn't seem fake. Principle number 3. Talk about your own mistakes first before you criticize the other person. So it turns out it's much easier for people to take feedback when the person who's giving the feedback also admits that they're not perfect, like they too have had their faults. So admitting your own mistakes at the start can really help someone else change their behavior. For example, let's say I am a boss and there's a new intern, and I'll say, you made a mistake, but hey, everyone makes mistakes. When I started off at the company, and you say some funny story where you really messed up. And I think with a little experience, you can get better. So maybe you try doing this, and that this is basically the advice which you actually want to give. Principle number 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. So the book says that we should always give people an opportunity to do things themselves, because what this does is that it gives them a sense of importance and it's also saving their pride. So never start by saying, do this, do that, or even like don't do this, don't do that. Instead, take a more suggestive tone, like, don't you think it would be nice if we did this? Do you think this would work? And after you say such questions, then give your suggestion. And if the other person obviously feels like a part of having made the decision, then they're more likely to follow through on it. It's human nature that we have an innate desire to feel important, and therefore including people and asking questions before coming to the decision helps. Principle number 5. Let the other person save face. So this is very, very simple to do, very underrated as well, but never at any cost destroy another person's ego. Like, even if you know you're 100% right, you won the point, you made your point, don't insult the person, don't go on their ego, because all that's going to do is hurt them. If there's a way, let the other person get out of their mistake without insulting them personally or hurting their ego. Only thing that matters is how a person sees themselves, and you have no right to make someone else feel less of themselves. I have no right, nobody has any right, basically. 2. Yeah. Principle number 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. So Dale Carnegie brings up this excellent point that why is it that when we want dogs to change, or like when our dogs do something nice, we literally go and say, oh my god, we want them to change, we offer them like a treat or something like that. But when it comes to humans, we start yelling, scolding, and why aren't we nice to humans when we want them to change? Basically, if you praise someone, it inspires them to keep on improving. If you just look back in your life and think about a time when someone praised you and it changed the way you showed up, a few words of praise or like what someone said to you at some point might have changed your entire future, because that gave you the confidence to keep going, right? So basically, people love praise. For example, when people put comments in my videos, I feel very nice about it. So, and I would keep going. I'm gonna keep going regardless. But the point being is that, yeah, Praise people, and when you're praising them, point out specific things. Like, don't be vague in praise, because that comes off as insincere again. Like, people want praise and not flattery. That's very important. So instead of saying like, hey, I like what you wrote, say like, hey, I like the language you used. Or instead of saying, hey, the food is good, say, hey, something specific about the food. I don't know, just be specific in your praise. And yeah, and obviously guys, all these principles that Dave Carnegie talks about in the book are like meant to be very sincere, and like they come from the heart. This is not some bag of tricks to manipulate people. It's how to become a better leader. Genuinely. Principle number 7, give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. If you want someone to improve in a certain aspect, then you should make it seem as though they're already good at it. If they think you think they're very good at something, then they don't want to prove you wrong, right? They want to meet your standards, they want to match your expectations. So they will then raise their standards, work harder, and actually improve so that to prove you right. I think all of us have seen this in school also. Like, if there's one student who's kind of like from before only termed as like the bad kid, or like the naughty kid, or like the not so smart kid, then they don't even try, because no one's expecting them to, which is a very bad idea in hindsight, now that I think of the schooling system. But yeah, then there's always that one kid in school who the teacher expects the world from, and more often than not they deliver, because everyone's expecting them to. So yeah, just give people a high standard to live up to. That's what principle 7 is. Principle number 8, use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. If you tell your child, your spouse, your student, your intern, anyone that they have no gift for something, or they're useless, or they're no good, and there's no point trying with them, you're basically just destroying their incentive to improve. Instead, if you just let them know that, like, you have faith in them and their ability to do it, they will actually then practice and try to like meet your expectations. Again, I think half of these become a better leader principles are genuinely just praising the other person, being patient with them, and being sincere and genuine. Coming to the last principle number 9, make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. So when you make a request to someone, put it in a way that they feel they will personally benefit from your request. So there's this amazing example which is simple and it's given in the book. Imagine you're the boss of the office, and then there's a simple employee who's responsible for cleaning the rooms. There's an important meeting the next day. Now there are two ways to do this. You tell this person, there's a meeting tomorrow, I need the room clean, so just clean everything up and keep it perfect, don't mess it up. One way to say it. Another way you can do it is by saying that, hey, we have a meeting tomorrow and I would really like to conduct it in the stock room. So if you just sweep it out and clean it up, then it will make us look efficient and you would have done your part in providing the company a good image. This simple way of rephrasing it will make the other person feel very valued, and then they'll want to clean it and do their part in making the company seem efficient. Yeah, so those are the 9 principles in part 4 of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's very naive to assume that it's always going to work and you'll always get a favorable reaction from other people by using these approaches. But you're just much more likely to succeed if you use them rather than if you don't. So I feel it's very crucial that I thank Dale Carnegie, because he's given me 4 videos worth content through his amazing book. Thank you, Dale Carnegie, for blessing us with your content and wisdom. And yeah, that officially ends my series on how to win friends and influence people. Thank you so much guys for watching it. I hope this is adding value to you guys. Like, genuinely, I love making videos. I hope you guys enjoy watching them. I'm actually trying to choose my next book right now. So if you do have any recommendations, please put it in the comments below. Let me know what podcast guests you want to bring on next. And yeah, I'm just like super pumped to be doing this. And yeah, bye.